What I personally want people to know about reskilling is it's about people. It is easy to get drawn into the fact of all the titles of different skills and different skills taxonomies and different programs and different approaches. And those are important. I'm not saying they're not important. But what I believe is most important is the emphasis around people. And I believe that reskilling done right can be both done at scale and can impact individual lives. And I don't want anybody to forget that the impact on an individual life is a really important thing to do.
One of the common misconceptions that we have is that this is something that we can just put on workers and say, hey, we're going to make those resources available. We're going to make skill. We're going to develop some skill pathways and hope, build it and they will come. Actually, what we find is that companies need to be much more prescriptive, much more purposeful about affecting reskilling. The reality is that most workers have plenty else to do, including the job that they're being paid to do. And so we need to actually, first of all, make clear to them what the possibilities are, and they'll appreciate it. And we see in survey after survey that they're begging for those kinds of resources. But second, what we know is that you need to actually develop ensure that there's enough time for this to happen.
I would say that the first is the term reskilling. One of the biggest misconceptions, I think, is that there's a big difference between reskilling and upskilling. It's a continuum, and organizations very much focused on skill development and what's needed in order for an individual to be effective in a particular role within an organization.
One common misconception, and it's something that's quite common in the narrative, is we talk about reskilling as something that's done to the workers, by the employer, by the government, by academia. People are being reskilled. But actually, people want to reskill themselves. People should be in the driving seat of that. At BCG, we do run large research asking candidates, workers, how they want to work. And one question we ask often is, would you be willing to retrain for a completely different job role to stay competitive? And close to 70% of people says, yes, no problem. Actually, people want to reskill.
Don't think about it top down. Don't think about it in terms of what works for white collar and then I'm going to bring that to my entire workforce. Rather, this is an opportunity to take the most marginalized workers, to be inclusive, to include everybody in this opportunity to reskill. And so by designing your programs with your front lines in mind and working up from that, you're going to get the greatest benefit.
One of the biggest myths with reskilling is that it's incredibly hard and that employers are just not ready. From our research at BCG, we have found that 68% of employees globally are willing to reskill if they have the why clear and if they have the organization support to make the reskilling happen. My message to all of you trying to do this is take that first step, experiment with your pilot programs, and scale from there on.